Hello, Ryan Folmar. Man, I cannot believe it.
It's that time.
Do you keep a countdown at all on how many days we have till we leave for Little Rock? I mean, you probably have it just ticking away in your brain right now, don't you?
Yeah, as it gets closer and closer, you get you figure things you need to get done faster and faster. So try not to count them down too much, but boy, you can feel it coming this time of year.
Yeah, the Diamond Dinner. I'm just so impressed. And I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to. I think that's 5 straight years that I haven't been able to attend the Diamond Dinner.
Yeah.
Because I've been on the road and watching from afar. But my goodness, you guys put on a show. I mean, Dallas Keuchel signs a humongous contract the day that he goes up there. You had to catch him on a pretty good day. He had to be having a few smiles going from where he was to where he is. Millions of dollars in difference from where he was. Millions. What a big-time event, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just kind of take time to brag about it because you guys would just do a tremendous job.
I tell you, it was one of those events where, everything lined up and it went really well. Obviously, we had a great speaker in Dallas, and we caught him at a good time. He had just gone through arbitration and signed a $7.2 million contract that morning, or agreed to terms that morning. And then just a great evening. I think we had somewhere around 425, 450 people, and we're able to raise a bunch of money. And it's just a good night. It was a well-run event. We had a new venue this year. And
yeah, you took it to my town.
Yeah, we were out in Glenpool, and a great venue, and they did a good job of putting it on. We had a lot of people work hard behind the scenes, so just a great night for us.
Debbie, Wes. I mean, go ahead. Listen.
Tim.
Yeah, Tim. I mean, I know Tim was all over it. I mean, you guys.
Yeah, those 3 people really kind of put the event on and did a great job of putting it together. There were a lot of other guys. Our staff did an outstanding job of getting involved. But
record money raised.
Yeah,
right?
Wes and Tim and Debbie really put it together. We're going to double or triple our best year ever. So
I saw Wes in a
good
suit.
Night. Yeah. So we go to those events,
laugh.
it's 1 or 2 times a year you're going to catch us in a suit, so we had to make sure we took some pictures too.
Last time I think I saw you in a suit, you were accepting the job. Yeah. What have you learned on the job? We got year 4, right, coming up?
Yeah, year number 4.
From then to here, maturation process, just things you've taken in?
Oh, man, I don't know where to start, but, yeah, all the above. I think if you quit trying to make adjustments or you quit trying to get better each and every year, then you need to do something else. And it's been a process. It's been you talked about the maturation going into your first year. I don't think you know all the things you're going to run into. We were really close. I've been really close to the program, obviously working here going on a long time. We got here in 2003, so had a lot of experience leading up to that point, but it never really you don't really know what's in that seat till you're in that seat. So we continue to grow and continue to learn as a staff, and I think we've gotten better in a lot of areas and continue to grow. I think we just try to do a better job each and every year. We try to be more efficient each and every year. We try to be more organized, more thorough on a yearly basis. So I don't see that ever really ending, Geoff. But yeah, I think we're better at what we do now, no question.
Talking to Ryan Folmar, head coach of baseball at Oral Roberts University, and got another season coming up here on February 19th. Last year was a tremendous year. What do you take away from last season? Another conference championship, another tournament championship, unscathed in the tournament, and then the regional goes 2 and Q. But overall, what did you think of last season? Because to me, it was quite a ride.
Yeah, it was a good year. We had a lot of good players. I think the one thing you look at from a year ago is, we talked about 5-1 against the Big 12 and all the top 100 RPI wins that we seem to accumulate. But for me, the thing was we had a big senior class last year, but we also had 4 freshmen that were a big part of what we did. So I think trying to blend some of those older guys in with the newer guys and be able to create some leadership with those young guys that are going to be here for a long time.
Let's be honest, you had to create some leadership with your your upperclassmen.
And I
that
think
happened.
And it did. There was no question. We had a good group that we thought could turn the corner, and they did. All of them did pretty much the same time. When you talk about the year that Anthony had a year ago, an All-American season, I don't know that anybody really saw that coming. The numbers that he put up. And then you can run right down on the list. Audie Abner had a great year, and Matt Brandy had another good year. And
Dean was terrific at short.
What you get out of Dean Wilson at short, and especially on the offensive end, he ended up hitting close to 300 on the year. Darian James came and his junior year, he has 10 at-bats, and he goes and does what he does a year ago.
That's what's so exciting, too, because, there were times you're like, like Darian James, maybe he needs to go somewhere else. Maybe he needs to move on. It's just not working here. And then, my gosh, I mean, he's a double machine.
Great year.
He grows so much, and that's got to make you proud, and that's also probably got to make you feel a little bit better about this year. I know you're probably also a little frightened because you have to replace so much, right? I mean, that's a lot of guys.
We're young. We're very young. You look at the position players that we returned. Last year we started 3 freshmen a lot of days, with Matt Watley, who ended up being a freshman All-American a year ago, Noah Cummings, who started every day in right field, and Nick Rourke also got 100 at-bats as a true freshman a year ago. So we got a good group that return. You throw in Chase Stafford, you throw in Rolando Martinez, you throw in Mason Mantle, you mix that up with a couple older guys that are coming back.
Mason play.
Yeah, and we have a pretty good core. You had some really talented new guys that come into the program, but they're new. They haven't done it at this level, so it makes you a little uneasy. But we're really happy with where we're at right now in terms of what our position players are doing. I think the biggest question mark we have, and you and I talked a little bit about it, and we talked about it at the Diamond Dinner, is the question marks we have on the mound. We had 540 innings a year ago. Only 80 of those innings returned, and 50 of them are in one guy. So there's a lot of unproven guys. But the one thing we feel really good about is we have depth to what we're doing. And we returned Nathan Garza. We returned Kyler Stout. Both those guys were hurt a year ago and didn't pitch at all. Those guys are back to kind of solidify the back end of some games. We have some guys in the middle we feel good about. Bryce is going to get a chance to
breakfast.
Big Breakfast is going to get a chance to fill one of those starting roles. So we have a lot of pieces. We have a lot of good pieces that we feel really good with. It's just going to take some games and about 20 or 30 games to figure out where guys are going to fit in.
Oh, I love this chat because it's really all about you. We let you reflect, and then we let you get the crystal ball out, which is always fun. We're also going to take a look at the schedule here because it's another terrific schedule and kind of break down a little bit of that while we have you, Coach Folmar. And then Scott Sutton's going to be coming up here in just a few moments. If you have any questions for any of the coaches ever, it's oruradio24@gmail.com. That's the way you communicate with the coaches, and then I relay your questions, oruradio24@gmail.com. Personnel, this is where I love this question because you have been prophetic now. 2 years ago, you gave me a little name of Jordan Romano. You gave me that name.
Am I going to have to go down that road again?
You gave me Jordan Romano 2 years ago. My goodness, was he incredible at the back end as the closer for your Golden Eagles, and then drafted very high by the Blue Jays, correct?
Yes.
The Blue Jays.
Yeah.
How's he doing, by the way? I know he's
doing well. He got hurt. He got hurt a year ago, so he's rehabbing right now, but had a good first year out was good. So
last year you gave me the name Matt Watley, freshman All-American.
Yeah.
What are you thinking now? Is there anybody that's standing out as far as a name that there's ORU baseball fans out there that aren't quite, it's January.
Yeah.
They're not quite thinking about who's going to be playing, and that includes me because I just can't get around there as much. So we want to know just a few names that maybe is on your mind that we might not have ever heard of.
Well, I think and we'll break it down. We'll go to two sides here. If you're talking about our position players and new names that you're going to hear, one of them is going to be Nick Rottola, who has a chance to be a really good top-of-the-lineup type guy. Had an outstanding summer a year ago. Had a redshirt for us a year ago, but hit 340 or 350 in the Coastal Plains League, stole 30 or 40 bases, but he's an explosive-type athletic guy.
Did he play with Matt over the summer?
Yes.
Okay.
They played on the same team. Brent Williams is another guy that you brought up, catcher, first base, DH, can do a lot of different things, but he's going to be in the middle of our lineup somewhere as well.
Another Colorado kid.
Yeah, you can expect big things from those two guys, and another guy we're going to throw in there is Michael Hungate. Michael's come in and put on some weight and gotten stronger, and a really good athlete. So those
6'2", 175.
Yeah, those guys have a chance to really do some damage on the offensive end. You look on the other end, and we have a lot of those guys that are in the same mold. We know Bryce returns, but Logan Michaels is a guy that you're gonna see on the weekend. Nick Wood, we didn't get to see a lot of last year, and has been battling injuries since he's been on campus, but has a chance to take on a big role. Grant Glaze is going to be somewhere in the middle, and Taylor Varnell, and one young guy we really want to keep an eye on. And I'm not predicting anything here, Hack, so don't take this the wrong way.
Okay.
Right there, but Josh McMahon is a guy that's a freshman on campus, big, strong kid who's got a chance to do some things, and I look for him as his spring goes on to get better and better and better and stronger and stronger and stronger.
Okay, so there's some arms, there's some offensive players. Coach, just looking at the roster and knowing what you have coming back from those guys, like you said, Chase Stafford, and then you mentioned a bunch of names there. I think the offense is going to be just fine. And then we'll see about the arms. And they're going to have another great schedule to play here. I mean, it's first off, tell us why we have Indiana State in Little Rock to begin. He's already rolled the eyes.
Yeah, do we have to go back and rehash this? Well, originally
La Tech, right?
Yeah, we schedule these games 2, 3, sometimes 4 years in advance. We had La Tech on the schedule. They had a coaching change, and to make an extremely long story short, they dropped us on their schedule. Something happened they didn't have us, and we had them on their schedule. And he called me in November and said, "Hey, I just saw your schedule was released, and we were on it, and I don't have you on my schedule." So.
What happens then? Is it purity panic?
Yeah, a little bit, because you don't, everybody's full because you schedule so far out. But we were lucky enough. We called Arkansas Little Rock. We knew they were juggling their schedule a little bit. They had some teams coming in, and there's actually going to be 4 teams over there that weekend. It'll be us, Little Rock, Indiana State, and Kansas. And Kansas is actually going there to play 1 game. Indiana State was kind enough to say, we'll at least play them twice. So. We got 2.
That's great.
Yeah, we got 2. We're looking to try to add another midweek game, and Texas Tech, and we've been in communication with them to try to hook them up maybe March 8th, March 9th. So we're trying to get that done.
Talking to Ryan Folmar here.
Too.
Yeah. Now we got at Dallas Baptist. We know about Missouri State and Wichita State because they're always on the schedule. Hosting UALR here for 3. Tell us about spring break. This looks pretty wild.
It's going to be a tough spring break. We end up we bust Auburn, play 3 games at Auburn. Then we bust Jackson.
Sands sunny.
Yeah, we busted Jacksonville, play Jacksonville State. Then next
not
day
Florida.
No, not Florida. It's in Alabama, and then we go play Mississippi State. So we're going to find some things out that week of what we need to do going into conference play the following week.
It's such a beautiful schedule too because I see Sooners home, road. Cowboys home, road, Wichita State, all those things that make a baseball schedule. Texas Tech's back in there. Red Raiders are going to be here. Again, I applaud you guys for getting along and getting games scheduled because without those teams, and again, we're without Arkansas. That's okay, though.
And we're going to get them back, too. Dave and I have talked, and
I remember that.
That's going to get back on the schedule as well.
But it's just a great schedule when you can get those things. It rounds it out. And then it seems to me that the league last year was early, home, and then late, get out of town.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a little bit more diversified this year.
You know what? It would be, especially if we had those first 3 at home. So we'd be a really balanced schedule and really good at what we're looking at. Having to go on the road for the first 2 is a little tough, but again, it's an outstanding schedule. We're excited to get going. It's going to be challenging. We're going to get exposed early, and hopefully by the time we start conference play, we're going to get going.
Leave us with turf on the infield.
We're hoping.
Leave us. Is it going to happen?
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
That's going to change your life.
We're going to find a way to make it happen by, we want to have this money raised by June 1, and we want to start the installation November 1 of next year.
The reason I say it changes your life is ORU is different from a lot of places. You guys, blood, sweat, and tears into whatever kind of grass you got growing on that
And cold today, by the way.
And no heat, cold. Yeah, you're out there working like crazy to keep that thing as great as it is. It's a great surface, but that'll change a lot of things for that program, right? And you guys in particular.
We broke it down 3 ways. We talk about recruiting and the arms race in terms of your facilities. It's an upgrade to your facility. Second, and you mentioned, is the time factor. We calculated sometime 15, 16 hours per week, and that's just on the normal maintenance of the dirt area in our infield. It doesn't include everything else that has to get done. And the third part is the financial part, and we feel like over a period of time it's going to end up paying for itself and then hopefully create revenue. So if we ever have to do it again, we'll be in a good spot to do it.
Thanks so much for the preview, Coach.
Thanks, Jeff.
Can't wait. Ryan Folmar joining us here.